We've got just 12 days to go before the ultimate food lovers celebration. Thanksgiving is Monday, October 11th this year, and On the Island will be on the air with a special holiday show that morning. But we know many of you will be busy before the big day, planning the menu, going through recipes, and maybe thinking about new ways to change up the usual turkey and pumpkin pie routine. Lately, we've been enjoying the labors of some of the food bloggers around Victoria and the islands. In fact, we've created a list of links to island food bloggers on our website, cbc.ca/on the island. And this morning, 3 of those bloggers are here with me in studio to tempt us with some of their ideas for new and different Thanksgiving treats. Melody Way's blog is called Audrey Needs More Wooden Spoons, and she's based here in Victoria. Kim Fisher's site is called Cascadia Kitchen, and Teresa Carle-Sanders blogs from Pender Island. Hers is called Island Vittles, and all 3 are with me in studio. Good morning to all 3 of you.
Good morning.
Before we get into the mouth-watering part of the interview, I want to ask each of you what got you started blogging about food and cooking. Melody, can I ask you first?
Well, I had just finished university and I really didn't know how to cook at all, and so it was just a way of learning and also kind of documenting and trying to remember and learn as I go.
Yeah, it's almost a good filing system. I mean, I appreciate your blogging for other people too, but in a way I imagine it can be a good
and it's also a terrific
system.
Way of keeping track of the recipes I really like and want to go back to, and it's really easy. It's all right there.
Teresa, what about you? What got you started food blogging?
Well, I'm a professionally trained chef, and I could talk about food all day. And basically my audience was shrinking because I was starting to bore everybody around me. So I opened it up and I started islandvittles.com and got a bit more of an audience, and we have a good interactive discussion there.
Kim, what about you?
I was taking a web development course, and I wanted to use something that would really, get me motivated, and so I started a food blog because that was something that I really loved, as Teresa did, to talk about.
Any of you thinking about Thanksgiving yet? It seems like to me a bit early, but I'm kind of a last minute. Teresa, have you started looking at Thanksgiving recipes yet?
We have started looking at it this year. It's going to be a small celebration for us this year, just the 2 of us. So rather than a big traditional, 20 people sitting around the table, we've just been thinking about nice, easy things that'll make a good, easy day for us.
Such as?
Such as I've got a nice Cornish game hen recipe that takes a can of orange pop as the glaze, and it's really something that you can literally make in probably about an hour and sit down and have a really nice meal together.
Oh, that sounds all right. Melody, what about yourself? What are you looking forward to for Thanksgiving?
Well, I always like these sides. The turkey's there, but it's always, for me, about all the side dishes, the gravy, the stuffing, the potatoes, and so I'm looking forward to homemade cranberry sauce.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
What about you, Kim?
Well, the focus for me and a few others in my family is always pumpkin pie, and I do have to think ahead because I have to get the right sugar pumpkin, and I roast it and then puree it, and that's kind of a big focus. But lots of other people in my family love the turkey, but I myself don't eat turkey, so I go for salmon, and I barbecue a salmon. But all the other, as you say, the sides go with salmon too, so it's great.
That's nice. A West Coast Thanksgiving.
Very much.
What about gluten-free alternatives to bread stuffing? Teresa, I think you might have one of those.
I do. Yeah, I have a nice quinoa recipe, and it's a risotto, so it's a good side dish. It's nice and rich and quite a good festive. It's fancy enough for a festive meal like Thanksgiving, but helps everybody work their way into the dinner, because there are a lot of gluten sensitivities out there right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Melody, you mentioned the cranberry. Any other sort of traditional Thanksgiving traditions that really appeal to you?
Well, we always do the pumpkin pie as well, but sometimes it's fun to do a pumpkin cheesecake or even a crumble with pears and ginger or apples and raisins simmered in rum, or even a truffle.
What kind of feedback do you guys get from your blogs? I mean, maybe Thanksgiving is a bit early, although not for a lot of people. But I'm just curious, what kind of feedback do you get from readers of the blogs?
Mine's still in pretty adolescence. I just got it up a few months ago, so I don't have a lot of feedback yet.
We get a lot of interactivity going on, discussing the recipe, or maybe somebody's made a similar recipe before and they have a couple of substitutions. It's just great to be able to talk online with people from all over the world, literally all over the world, about food and share ideas and share cultures and learn new things.
Do people get back to you specifically about the recipes that you put on there and how they worked for them?
They do. They'll always catch me out on a spelling mistake or if I've forgotten an ingredient and then mention it or later on down the line. But they also get back to me and tell me whether they enjoyed it or whether they didn't enjoy it, which is always interesting to hear too.
Have you ever tweaked anything based on?
Absolutely. And then gone back and had to repost it with here's some great tips from readers.
That's pretty interactive. Melody, what about you? What kind of feedback do you get from readers?
I find that people go to food blogs for inspiration, and so they'll take a look at my recipe and they'll often follow it for the most part, but then they'll add in an ingredient or two that they particularly like, or change the quantities a little bit. If they like tomatoes, they'll add more tomatoes or a little bit of that, a little bit less of something. And so I find that they use it for inspiration.
Well, you've inspired me, all three of you. A number of great ideas, particularly looking at your blogs. And they're all at our website, cbc.ca/ontheisland. And Melody, Teresa, and Kim, really good of you all to join us in studio this morning. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Gregor.
Melody Way's blog is called Audrey Needs More Wooden Spoons. In need of an interview all in of itself, actually, the answer to that question, why. Kim Fisher's site is called Cascadia Kitchen, and Teresa Carle-Sanders blogs from Pender Island. Hers is called Island Vittles, and as I mentioned, they're all on our website, cbc.ca/ontheisland. Just go to Food Bloggers on the right-hand side of the page. 2 minutes.